Hello and welcome to another Evony video and another simple but hopefully useful tool. We're going to talk about premium generals and how to get the latest premium general fully ascended without spending money in the game at all. So this is the latest general right now, headship suit. And if it was a few years ago, this general would have been not just hard to pronounce, but also rather hard to get. So the only way to get it was to basically buy these 5 packages every day. And at that time, you had to buy all the 5 packages each day to be able to get the fifth tier. To get these tokens, which give you a 17.5% chance to get her, and it's guaranteed every 6 times. But now it's not as hard to get. Maybe she plays a bit hard to get, but if you're patient enough and play smart, you can get her without spending much money in the game. So these tokens, well, we had these uh, years ago as well, but the difference was it was not as easy as now to save up many of these premium tokens. Now, many events give them, and you also can get fragments of these tokens from relic chambers. So it's not that difficult. You still need to be patient to save up enough. But it does give you pretty much the same chance, right? It's a 17% chance that each token that you open gives you this general. So I see this question a lot these days. And do I have enough? Should I open them? Uh, how likely am I to get enough copies? Because if you want to fully ascend it, you will need 16 copies in total. So what do you think? Let's guess a little bit. Uh, when can I be sure that I have enough copies that I will definitely 100% get at least 16 of the latest general? So the correct answer, if you want to look at the math and theoretically on paper, is never. You can never be 100% absolutely sure that you will get enough copies. Even if you open a million times, there's still a very tiny, teeny probability that you will not get enough. But, well, that's the game. But the question is, when can you be certain enough to do that? So now let's say we have 50. So this is the tool that I made. It's a simple one to help you making these decisions because, Evony decides what type of general is out this time. And as soon as the new general comes, the probability of getting this one drops and it becomes very difficult to get more copies. And well, most people are just saving up these tokens for a certain type of general that they're looking for. And if that one comes up, a good new general for that purpose, you probably want to know if you should go ahead and open your tokens or you should wait more. So now let's say I have 50 and the chance of getting that is 17%. So how likely do you think it is that with these numbers, I get enough copies? So how likely is it that I have 50 tokens, I open them all, and I get at least 16? So while you think about that, one thing to mention is in this tool, I'm also I'm letting you to choose 2 types. So you can add those that we just saw that has 17.5% chance. But you also get these epic historic non-premium basically tokens. These also have a higher chance of giving you the latest general, but the probability is much lower. But you can see I have now both, so I want to consider both of them in my decisions. All right, so let's say I have 50 and this is the probability and I want to get 16. It is actually only 1% chance that that happens. It's probably much lower than you expected, because the way we tend to think about probabilities is generally uh, wrong, I would say. It's probabilities are not super tangible, because basically what this means, so you can say, okay, for 50, the expected number of copies you get is 9. What this means is that if you repeat this experiment of opening 50 tokens an infinite number of times, the average value of the number of tokens that give you this outcome is 9, right? But we never do this an infinite number of times. You just do this once. So actually, let's simulate this to get a better picture. So this is now simulates with the same probabilities. Every token that you open, do you get it or not? And if I just change the value of this cell or just press delete, it repeats the simulation. You can see in this instance with some random numbers, you only get 3 copies. So it is still possible with 50, you get 3. It doesn't mean the game is tricking you or something. It's just how the probabilities work. And I'm going to repeat this. You can see, let's see how many times do we see a high number close to 60. Not that often, actually, right? So to speed things up, you can see here I'm running 100 simulations each time. So 100 times each time opening 50 tokens. This is the average number of tokens you get. And this is how many times it has more than 16 or at least 16 of that general. So if we repeat this, each time is 100 runs, you see. It's most of the time you don't get any. Actually, once it was 4, right? So that's how these probabilities generally work against us. And going back to the question of when it is 100% sure, you see, well, you never reach the actual 100, but you get pretty close. And the key lesson here is, around 50, it is very low, but if you wait a little bit longer, it suddenly increases. Your chances go up. So now let's say I have these 4, and how many did I have? I had 59. For me, the expected value is 10. That doesn't really tell me much, but I know that if I do it right now, there's 30% chance that I get enough copies, but there's 70% chance that I don't. So here what you can do is to, well, depending on how much risk you want to take, you might make a different decision, right? So because maybe, oh, there is a chance, of course, I don't get enough, but I have enough ascension fragments that I can use. Maybe I can cover for 1 or 2, copies that I don't get. Or maybe later on, I just get randomly lucky with lower probabilities. I will still get this general, right? So here you can get an estimation of how many you need in total for the value of risk that you're willing to take. So let's say for me, I think if I were to suggest, I would say have at least 80% certainty. So let's now assume we don't have any other tokens. Now this tells me to achieve the goal of 16 copies that I have here with 80% certainty, I will need 51 more tokens. You can see here, this line also shows where you will be on that curve. So it is 80% sure that you get. And actually, if I reduce these to 15, so let's say we have actually 110 here. There's 80% chance of getting that. And if I want to get 15 and maybe cover with the fragments, there's 86% chance that that actually happens. So hopefully this can be useful for you. You can download it. The link is in the description. And you can play with the numbers as well. If you want, you can change the probabilities depending, because these probabilities are not always the same. Sometimes the newer general has a little bit higher or lower chance of showing up, and you might consider different types. And you can actually use this for other items that you open in the game as well, right? And I will talk about the rumor about if it's better to open multiple items at the same time or should you open them one by one. Is there a difference? I will try to make a video talking about that as well. But that's it for this video, and thank you for tuning in.